Hey guys, I wanted to come and on here and talk to you guys about how I became a software engineer in 2 years with no experience, no internships, no side projects or anything like that. Right out of college, went straight into the field with nothing. And I'm just going to come here and explain kind of how I did it and how to do it in 2026. Maybe some other people can learn from this because when I was starting out, there was really no help for me. And, there's a lot of talk about the field is dead and stuff like that. And maybe it is, but you could decide that for yourself after the video. So I actually made a little slideshow on how I did it. No, just no bullshit. Exactly what I did. And after this, you could decide if it's something you really still want to do as well. Here's my story. Right now, I'm 24. And I just started a job recently as a software engineer. But 2 years ago, I was just not where I wanted to be in my life. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I felt really behind from all my friends. All my friends were out doing really cool projects, being part of uh, big companies, really big boy jobs. And I was still working at a restaurant. I started at this restaurant when I was 16, and I became a server, um, started as a busboy, did food running, and I worked there for 8 years. I just quit when I got this job, actually. But I didn't love it. It wasn't for me. I'm a pretty antisocial person. I like to hang out with my friends, but, being so customer facing just wasn't for me. I was getting my degree in psychology for really no reason. I kind of just did it. Everybody was getting a degree in something. All these science classes and math classes are too hard. So, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to waste my time doing stuff like that. At least I felt like I would be wasting my time. But then 2 years ago, I just decided I'm going to change it. Everything's going to change. I actually remember specifically I was on the treadmill at the gym and I decided that, I wanted to be a software engineer. I wanted to build cool things, be part of teams and stuff like that. Before I tell you, what I did specifically to really get into this, I want you to just think a little bit. I want you to take out a pen and paper and, maybe I want you to write down some goals, some things that, you know, what do you want specifically? I wanted to work from home and I wanted to work no like not more than 40 hours a week. I really wanted to work 30 hours a week, but it's not really that possible. Those are some of the goals that I had. I wanted a good GPA. I wanted to really know my shit. I still have my book here where I write things down all the time, my journal. So I'll pause and let you guys, write some things down. I'll give you guys a second to pause. Okay, ready? This is the best advice. If you didn't write anything down at all and just sat here watching this video, your best option is to quit. We're in a job market that's incredibly hard, incredibly tough, and if you just are here watching video after video on how to become a software engineer and you aren't taking any steps, not even something as simple as writing something down, it really is unfortunately time to quit. Maybe 10 years ago, you could bullshit your way through, get a job. If you know anything at all, they want you. That's just not how it is anymore. You can't just put the bare minimum effort in and hope to get a job. It's just not how it is anymore. And I know that's really brutal and really tough. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you didn't write anything about down, but you could still do it. And that's totally possible. But the odds are, the people who want to be a software engineer now, in the worst time in a very long time for it to become a software engineer, this is the truth of the matter. It's just incredibly hard. The odds are not in your favor. If you're not willing to put in the work, you probably can't do it, unfortunately. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you did write something down. So here's what I did. A couple steps. There is no major secrets. There's just strategy. You can't hesitate. You simply have to put in the work. There is no super secret thing. I'll tell you my story on how I got it, but there is no secret strategy for that people are gatekeeping and how to get in. Everybody is struggling. It's very hard. The odds are not in your favor. But what I did is I graduated college and I wanted to work so bad. I wanted a job so bad, but but I had no experience. I had no internships. I had nothing. All I was doing my degree, and I was doing 15 to like 20 credits every semester, grinding. Um, Summer classes, winter classes. Sometimes there was one semester I took 23 credits. I was just grinding to get this degree done. I didn't even have time for the internship. So I graduate college, and now I don't know what to do. You go, you can look on once you start applying to jobs, you'll see these companies called headhunter companies, which are companies that like might give you a job, but it'll be terrible pay. Um, they're you're not they're not great, and they really kind of are just there to take advantage of you. But I was so down to do anything. I wanted a job. I joined this headhunter company, and I wasn't even being paid. It was called pre-employment training, is what I did. It was for a company called Reviture. This pre-employment training was really just bullshit. They're like trying to teach you so you can maybe become hireable. Uh, but for about 4 or 5 months, every day they would train you, and there was no trainer. It was just they had all these documents that you would have to look over and get things done by a certain date. And I would do it. And these are very easy to get into because you're not even being paid. So I'm learning all these things. And it was a good experience, something that I could talk about on resumes. But there's more to it. You have to learn how to interview. You have to learn how to impress the people who are talking to you, how to be different than everybody. The star system, that's simple. You could look these things up. You also have to actually learn how to code. I was doing leak code. I was doing, a bunch of just different things, watching videos. But I never built my own project because I never really had time. I was always doing stuff in school. And the third thing I will say is to lock into one single coding area. Uh, I absolutely locked in to Java. I was learning everything about Java, learning the backend framework, Java Spring, learning everything I could, learned a little bit of SQL that I could apply into that, but I wanted to make sure that if they could ask me questions, I could speak to Java very, very well. I would only do Java. That's like it. You could learn how to build this and this, but really everything, if they can see that you can learn Java, then they are willing to hire you to learn anything. If you know all these concepts about one language, these concepts apply in every single language. And the last thing I actually did was I applied to so many jobs. You have to put, the applications in. I think I did probably it was around 450 applications, and I was customizing them all. Can't really have ChatGPT do it all because they'll just know. They see a ChatGPT cover letter, you're done. Resume, you're done. They're just gonna throw it out. Think about it like this: if you don't write in, if you have your own like human written, you're already ahead of everybody. They'll know immediately. Everybody knows what is written by AI nowadays. And here are some quotes that I like to follow and I like to think about all the time. That really help me push through this. The first quote is, when you fall throughout life, remember this: fall forward, by Denzel Washington. This one is what I mean by you have to commit to it. You can't halfway put effort in and expect results. It's just not going to work like that. If you really want to be a software engineer, you need to do everything to become one. That sounds really rough, and it's true that it is really hard. You're going to be really, really sad. I remember driving home from school crying one day because I was so stressed out. I was so desperate to become a software engineer. I needed to escape the life I was living. I needed it so bad, and it's all, I would study every single day. I became really close with my professors so I could gain as much information as I can. Quote two is, the life you want costs the life you have. If you're super comfy now, you love sitting on TikTok every day scrolling, for 2 hours a day, that it has to go. It's just you can't have it all. You can't be so comfy in the life that you have and then try to gain more while still, having that same exact lifestyle. It's just not going to happen. And quote three is, A man crawling in confusion moves further than one frozen in doubt. This quote is the one I think about the most. Uh, you can always try to find the right way, the most perfect way to learn something, the most perfect way to become a software engineer, the most perfect way to do anything in life. This applies to anything. But if you really want to learn and really start, do anything. Do anything to start. Anything at all. Start reading, start coding, start watching videos. Just start doing something. It's a marathon, not a sprint. All these things eventually add up. You start building such a base of knowledge that you can really understand and start coding. And that's kind of how I, did it all. And I've been seeing a lot of talk about this on the internet, and it really is hard. It really did suck. I was like the last month of me searching for a job, you're in a pretty terrible headspace thinking, I'm not wanted, nobody wants me, but that's you're being too hard on yourself because it's such a challenging market. And now here I am. I'm in my own apartment. I have the software engineer job where I get to work from home a couple days a week, go in. It's very nice, and it's something, that I really enjoy. And I know maybe this presentation crushed some dreams for some people, but it's just the fact of the matter. People love the lifestyle of the software engineer, but don't love the path to get. But I'm about to go live on my Twitch channel. Quick plug: if anybody wants to come ask me questions and ask me how I did it or how they could do it too. Um, but yeah, come check me out. And thanks for watching. Peace.